What's good, YouTube? Where we go, and today we're reacting to Natsu. You don't want diversity, Miss Marvel, and Miles Morales. I don't know what he's gonna say. You feel me? But I think diversity in film is good. You feel me? Personally, um, it is good for kids to be able to have to have um people to like relate to. You feel me? And kids are definitely into cartoons, anime, all that stuff. So like, I feel like that diversity is pretty cool.
Diversity is an ever-present topic in today's media. Whether it's your video games, movies, TV shows, and other content, you're very likely to see people of different creeds and colors, especially so in recent years. Many industries have made incredible leaps in representing groups with little to no media presence, or whose past portrayals have been
Crazy.
questionable. With the global popularity of some franchises, it's obvious that people from a broad range of different backgrounds will be consuming that media. And the fact that more people get to feel included is great. One such franchise is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and with Miss Marvel having aired its final episode just a couple weeks ago, Phase 4 has been the MCU's most diverse phase yet, and that's something to be celebrated, right? Well, no, not exactly. Let's take a step back from Marvel. On the surface, diversity may seem like a simple thing to achieve. You have a story full of white men, just reboot it and replace them all with literally anything else. Disney's Little Mermaid, black. Johnny Storm, black. Aquaman, Hawaiian. It's genius. You just take your Caucasian character, do a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and congratulations. You've mastered inclusivity. As stupid as this sounds, this is actually something that's done very, very often. And sometimes it works, but actually something that's done very, very often.
Man and Mom, the Superman need to be white. I feel like the characters like made. I feel like if they're doing adaptations of comic books and anime, the characters should be made should be casted how they was portrayed by the person who made that character. Like it's like that just makes the most sense to me. Like I don't want to see a black Superman. Like come on. I know Superman as a Caucasian male, Clark Kent. Like like I can't envision. Like come on, bro.
And
I
sometimes
feel like they
it
be forcing
works,
it sometimes.
but most of the time it doesn't. Race swapping is the absolute laziest way to diversify a cast of characters. Taking an existing
Yeah, I feel like they should.
character and altering little else besides the way that they look completely misses the point of diversity. Physical appearance is just one of many factors that give people their unique identity. They also have their own cultures, perspectives, and experiences. I don't care if the Slayer from Doom is white, black, or fucking purple. He's still not going to be relatable. id Software could announce tomorrow that for their next game, they're going to make Doom Guy look like Idris Elba.
It is definitely kind of lazy. They should just come up with new characters and just have them be black, Mexican, Hawaiian. You feel me? Just have them be be what they envision them to be. Just don't just change the race and have everything else be the same. That is
I wouldn't
definitely
give two
super lazy.
shits. Ripping and tearing through an onslaught of demons from hell is hardly what I would call the black experience. A character that was originally fair-skinned effectively being given an alternate minority palette swap is nothing groundbreaking. It blows my mind when a minority actor is given the role of a white character and people gas up the film or showrunners for doing the bare minimum. Wouldn't it have been infinitely better if they had created an entirely new character who is a minority with their own backstory that better resonates with that demographic? Back in 2010, with The Amazing Spider-Man still in production, there was a bit of an online movement to cast actor Donald Glover for the role of Peter Parker.
Spider-Man, maybe he doesn't have to be white. Maybe he can be black or Hispanic or something like that. And then somebody put a big picture of me in the comments. It was like, Donald Glover can play Spider-Man. He's nerdy.
This, of course, never came to fruition, and Andrew Garfield got the role instead. But years later, Glover still managed to land a role in a Spider-Man film. Not as the titular character, but as Aaron Davis, uncle to Spider-Man. No, not that Spider-Man. This one.
Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?
We still got our black Spider-Man, but he's not just Peter Parker, but black. Miles is his own character, yet is still undeniably Spider-Man. Both the Spider-Verse and Insomniac renditions of the character do an excellent job of giving Miles his own identity, while still maintaining all of the elements that make a great Spider-Man story. Much like Miles,
He has his own personality, his own culture. You feel me? He's from a different part of New York. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's from Harlem or something. So I'm pretty sure you feel me? So like, it's his own character. That is more innovative, and that is what diversity should be like.
Kamala Khan is a character that's derivative of an older existing superhero, Carol Danvers. I'll be comparing these two characters and talking about what Disney's latest Marvel series does right and what it does horribly wrong.
What the heck is this?
I chose these two series because I have lifelong experience of, well, being a black man and also being Muslim, so I can relate to both. So, what's Miss Marvel about? Marvel Studios' Miss Marvel is an original series that introduces Kamala Khan, a Muslim. Oh no. We're not even a single sentence into the description, and Disney has already notified us that Kamala is in fact a Muslim American girl, which is a major selling point of the show, which is fine, but the fact that it's so front and center calls into question Marvel's intent with the series. Like, imagine if Spider-Verse had opened up with,
"My name is Miles Morales,
and I am a nigga." Before their race, religion, or gender, any good character should first be, well, a character. Of course, their background will define certain aspects of their life, but it shouldn't be the extent of their personality. The concept of show, don't tell is nothing new, and it really goes a long way when introducing you to a new character. In Spider-Verse, we first see Miles in his room, drawing graffiti art and singing along to the hip-hop song Sunflower. The track is more than just background music. It's diegetic, meaning it exists in the context of the world so both Miles and the audience can hear the song. When Miles is about to leave for school, we see him say goodbye to his mother in Spanish, after which the song Familia by Puerto Rican artist Anuel AA starts playing. In the next shot, the camera pans up from the ground, showcasing the Nike Air Jordan 1s that Miles is wearing, a brand that I don't think I need to tell you how closely tied it is to the black community. We then see Miles greeting people in his neighborhood in both English and Spanish. He places those stickers we saw him making earlier around the streets before tripping on his Jordans, his headphones fall off, and the music stops. In just under 2 minutes, we've learned so much about Miles' personality and multi-ethnic heritage, and absolutely none of it had to be directly told to us. A lot of the same characterization is present in Insomniac's 2020 video game. He doesn't go around telling everybody,
I'm biracial.
He doesn't have to. You can already see that. Although Miss Marvel does successfully communicate some things about Kamala's identity visually, it still feels the need to constantly remind you of who, or rather what, she is. If you missed the 200 Captain Marvel posters in her room, don't worry, she'll be sure to tell you how much of a fangirl she is. Things like Kamala wearing a necklace of her name written in Arabic would hit so much harder if it wasn't literally spelled out to the audience after another character draws attention to it. That'd be like if one of the people who dapped up Miles stopped him and commented on his Jordans like,
"Hold on, let me take a picture of my son real quick, son. Hold on, B. Hold on, yeah.
Spell them hoes.
Fucking drip. Yeah."
His
rather
fit is
than feeling like a
outrageous.
superhero who just happens to be a
Gotta be
Muslim
over it.
Pakistani girl, Kamala and several other recent MCU characters end up feeling like little more than hollow self-inserts for whichever group they're meant to represent. Drawing attention to a character's diversity in this ham-fisted manner leads to incredibly unnatural lines of dialogue, such as,
And let's be honest, it's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world.
yo, deadass on God, B. It's not really the New York niggas who be saving the world and shit. In terms of accurately portraying Muslim Americans, I'd say the show actually does a great job. It presents a ton of scenarios unique to that demographic that me, and I'm sure countless other Muslims strongly related to. It's undoubtedly the strongest aspect of the show, and it was really enjoyable whenever I could point to my screen and go,
I understood that reference.
but beyond that, what else does Miss Marvel offer? Yeah, that's about it. Like I said earlier, Kamala doesn't really have much going on besides Muslim Pakistani girl with superhero obsession. Her origin story is receiving a bangle in the mail from her grandmother, and her conflict is strict parents? I mean, even that isn't enough to hold her back, because after lying to them repeatedly, sneaking out and keeping secrets, all it takes is to show them that she has superpowers, and the mother that was so against Kamala putting on a skin-tight superhero suit gives her her very own skin-tight superhero suit.
You're not going to dress up like all those other girls in skimpy outfits. That is not you. This feels a bit more like you, hmm?
They cheer from the sidelines when their daughter is being barraged by bullets as if they're watching a football game. Which brings us to the villain. Our
That's
primary
great.
antagonist isn't established until... Man, I watched the whole show and I still don't know. The clandestines are a group of beings from another world introduced in episode 3, but they get murked off by episode 5. Their leader Najma has a change of heart when Kamala tells her to stop doing bad things. And she's like,
Hear that talking no jutsu?
damn, Kamala should have had Naruto posters in her room instead. Because that
Yeah,
talk no
Taco
jutsu is immaculate. The clandestines are then
Naruto
replaced
be in his
by
bag, I ain't
generic
gonna
law
lie.
enforcement agency 57, not to be confused with generic law enforcement agency 56 from WandaVision. And Bruno? We don't talk about Bruno. It's not unusual for side characters to be underdeveloped, but it genuinely feels like Bruno solely exists so Kamala can have her own guy in the chair. She has a question, he has an answer. And if he doesn't, he'll magically find one off screen. Why? Because he's the genius high school student who got into Caltech. Or, more accurately, because the plot demands convenient exposition. Bruno is also one of 3 love interests for Kamala, because one just wasn't enough for a 6-episode miniseries. The story is nothing to write home about.
3 love
When I told a
interests
friend of
in
mine
6
that I was
episodes?
watching this Marvel, he asked me how the show was, and I was nice enough to create this intricate diagram for him so he wouldn't mess up the watch order. If you are not the intended
What did that say?
demographic,
Are you Pakistani? No. Are you Muslim? No. Yes. Watch it. Don't watch it. Are you Pakistani? Yes. Watch it.
for
Okay.
him, so he wouldn't mess up the watch order. If you are not the intended demographic for Miss Marvel, there is absolutely nothing for you here, which is
Eh,
fine. Not everything has to appeal to everyone, but even I myself, as part of that demographic, believe that beyond all the hashtag relatable references, there's little substance to the story. But I can't deny the power that representing a minority group has. When I first saw Black Panther in theaters and heard my native tongue being spoken in a Hollywood film, I lost my shit. It was a surreal experience that I never in a million years
right.
would have imagined happening. But once the dust settled and the rose-tinted glasses came off, I just found myself wishing that the movie that scene was attached to had a better narrative. Being represented is one thing, being well represented is another. Setting the bar at just including XYZ group leads to garbage like this.
Snowflake and Safe Space are the twins, and their names are very similar to screen time. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory, to take those words and kind of wear them as badges of honor. Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them. Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens.
Companies becoming more inclusive does not guarantee that it's in good faith. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, like a drunk teenager on prom night, they just want to get into your pants. More specifically, your
It's
wallet.
not, it's honestly kind of like that, like kind of like forced a little bit. It's like it's cool that like they're non-binary and they go by they them, but he didn't have to say it if there was like a scene somewhere in the show where her brother referred to them as they them. I feel like that would have been cool. You feel me? I feel like that would be a
Money has
better
always
way
been the
instead of, like,
primary
throwing it in your
motivator for
face like that.
diversity with
I don't
major
know, though.
corporations. That's not to say that good-intentioned individuals can't make terrible pieces of media. They certainly can, but more times than not, they don't give a shit about me or you. We're just another demographic
Oh,
to
yeah.
hit.
Oh, I already knew that for sure. These big A-list, S-list companies do not care about y'all, bro. Like, bro, they're strictly doing this for the bag, bro.
Quoted to
They
be
could
met.
care
I
less.
couldn't help but
promise
laugh when
you.
I first saw the Eternals. This alien race created off-planet Earth have a
That-
black,
is
Korean,
really?
Scottish,
I haven't seen her in so long.
Pakistani, Chinese, British, young redheaded, and Mexican person among them. On top of that, Marvel was like, you mean to tell me we can knock out our first deaf and first gay superhero in the same shitty film? Yeah, let me get one of each. I'm sure both groups were very pleased to be seen in one of the worst performing and most critically panned films in the franchise. Giving these 10 diverse central characters meaningful arcs in the film's 150-minute runtime was never the goal. They're not characters, they're tokens who exist solely for the purpose of diversity. And that alone does not protect the movie from criticism.
No, please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this.
Diversity.
If you're nothing without this,
Diversity.
then you shouldn't have it.
Marvel has never been the best when it comes to things like this, but no company illustrates the corporate lack of care for inclusivity better than
Who has his
Activision
own
Blizzard.
movie?
A few months
I'm so
ago,
out of the
Blizzard
loop.
gave us a look into their diversity space tool, a device that quantifies how diverse a character is based on things like ethnicity, ability, gender identity, and socioeconomic background. The character is then given a number rating on each of these things and placed on a radar chart, as if you're allocating stat points in a fucking RPG. Is your character a generic white male? Maybe he could use a little smidgen of gay
This is
or a
crazy.
wee bit of a disability to even him out. Blizzard has completely gamified inclusivity, because you know there's no nuance to it. It's just something that you get down to a science and delegate to a computer program. A company that's actually been pretty good about their diversity in recent years is Riot Games. Their animated series Arcane was not only a compelling story with incredible art direction, it also brings to life some of the most well-written characters I've ever seen in animation. The cast is diverse,
I started this
but it
show,
doesn't
but
feel
I
the
didn't
need to
finish
hit
it.
you
I
over
got
the
to
head with
episode
that.
2 or 3.
Even in the video game that the show is based on, characters' diversity is not something that's overstated. Man, modern media has really gone to shit if I'm praising League of Legends of all things. This is the same game where one of the black character's ultimate ability is literally just a fucking drive-by.
That's crazy.
People pushing for more diversity in media has always seemed paradoxical to me. Companies that are willing and want to represent you will do so of their own volition.
Yeah.
Companies that you have to pressure into representing
Facts.
you
It's not
are
genuine.
not the ones that you want
It's not
representing
genuine.
you. No amount of public pressure can make money-hungry corporations reevaluate their priorities.
They
If there's
strictly
any
got a
form of
bag, bro.
diversity to push for, it should be in the workplace, which can serve as a catalyst to more inclusive media. Regardless of your skin color, ethnicity, or gender, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a phenomenal film. When I think of inclusivity, it's things like this that pop into my head, not shows that— wait a minute. Did she just punch a fucking hole to Pakistan? The writers couldn't think of a way for him to escape. So they just had her punch a magical hole in the ground, then cut to him 7,000 miles across the globe. What the
Shut up.
Instead of just being content to look at the screen,
Shut
see someone
up.
who looks like us and go, oh, he just like me for real. We should celebrate the works
let
that
Emmy-
actually go the extra mile to give us characters instead of caricatures. Basically, what I'm trying to say is,
Be original. The exact created swag of a black team.
this video was made possible by me. Subscribe and follow your
Shout
boy.
out to. Shout out to. You had 20K 4 months ago. This you going crazy, but nah. It's like, bro. They definitely do be forcing it sometimes. It definitely just did not be genuine most of the time. You feel me? That's why in anime, I don't really care for diversity because they are Japanese. It's like they know Japanese culture. They are very well versed in Japanese stuff. So it's like stick to like what you know type. You feel me? Definitely changing a character's race and that's it. It's not original, genuine. It's not any of that, bro. It's just you just trying to be diverse just because. Yeah, gang, I'm not reading all that. I don't want diversity in my movies. I want Samuel L. Jackson to play every single character. Facts, though. We do not want diversity. What we don't want is tokenism. We do want diversity. What we don't want is tokenism. The distinction between the two is lost on modern media for the most part, unfortunately. That's facts. Miles Morales was a very good movie, and I feel like the demographic definitely does not just have to be black people. I feel like anybody can watch that show or that movie. You feel me? But yeah, this is a very good video. Nachi's very smart. He definitely knows how to articulate himself. You feel me? So yeah, shouts out to him. I'm gonna leave a video link down below, and yeah, make sure y'all like and subscribe. You feel me? And yeah, have a blessed day and peace.